Hello everybody, and today we are going to talk about lists and indexing in lists in Python. First, let's talk about lists, and let's suppose this group of students is our Python list. We have here elements, which are students, and in our case we have this is the first one, second, third, fourth, and fifth element. So this is a list. When we want to call an element in a list, we are going to call him in this case by its index. The index is here the number 1 through 5. So when I want to call a student 2, just this guy will show up. When I want to call a students from 2 to 4, we're gonna see these 3 students are showing up. This is how lists work in Python. First, let's see how we can write a list in Python and what is the structure. First, we give it a name. Can give it any name here, and we put equal, then square brackets, we open and close square brackets, and inside the list we give it the elements separated each one by a comma. Okay, we can put a lot of element in it, and the element can be an integer, float, string, boolean, or character, or list. Integer is a number like 1, 2, 3, or 5. Any number. Float is 2.5, it's a decimal, it can be a decimal, 2.4, 5.9. String is a text. Bool, it's either true or false. Character, you all know it. And inside the list you can put another list. So let's see now indexing. What is indexing? Indexing is returning a specific element or elements from a list by index. So here is how to write how to return element by indexing. We first put the list's name, then we open and close brackets, and then inside those brackets, the square brackets, we can put the index, the number of the element inside the list. For example, we have this same list we saw previously. That's how we are indexing this element 1. Okay, we can see now here we are saying 1 here, but in this list the first element is 1. It's not 2.4. So why it's given 2.4? That's a good question. Okay, we know in real life we start from 1, but in computer programming we start always from 0. So this is element 0, this is element 1, 2, 3, 4, and this list is 5. So when we say 1 here, we mean the second element. So this is 0, this is 1. So the output should be 2.4. Okay, we have negative indexing. Okay, right now we can write it the same. Put the list name here, open and close square brackets, put a minus here, and put the element index. Okay, we have this a quotient, which is indexing start from the last element. Here you are the same list we have previously, and here how we are indexing negatively. We are putting a minus and 1. So what that means? Okay, sorry, there's a mistake in this PowerPoint. This should be a lowercase like this one. So here we have minus 1. So we start, as we see here, from the last element, which is this list. We call this last element, which is minus 1. Okay, this is a 0. We go like that. This is the element minus 1, and here you are, the output is right. Okay, so let's talk about group indexing. list, first we type it like this. We first put the list name, open and close brackets, square brackets. Inside we write the first element index, the index of the first element we want to call, then a semicolon, then the index of the last element we want to call from this list. For example, we have this list right now, and we have this indexing, this group indexing right now. Let's see what that means. When we are when we are typing here 1 and 3, we mean that we want the element from 1 to 3. So we saw that this is the first the element with index 1, and this is the element of index 3. So we want elements from 2.4 to true, which are those 3 elements. And as you can see, the output is given as a list. Okay, now let's see some examples. Okay, those examples, try to solve them. I'll stop the video and try to solve them, and I will now give you the answers. Okay, now let's try to solve these. Let's first make a new list, put square brackets, and let's assign those values to this new list. First we want, as we see, print this right here. So how can we put it? Index the list name right here, open and close square brackets, and then here, and then here we put what we want. As we saw before, here we should put a number, the first element we want to start with, and here we want to put the last element. But if we keep those empty, let's see what we got as a result. As an output, we got all the lists. So when you keep this empty, the first one, it will take the first element, and when you keep the last one empty, it will automatically take the last element. So it will take the first element from the first element to the last one. Okay, that's the first one. Now let's see the second one. How can we what did it give as an output? So as we know, this should start from here, from the first element, and this is the last element. As we saw before, the last element is 9. Okay, so now we imagine that it should give as an output the full list, because it's from the first element to the last element. Let's see. Okay, we have now something that it does not give our last element, which is 9. Why does it do that? It does do that because this -1 does not give the last element, it gives the element before the last one. Okay, for example, here if we put -2, it will give 7, not 8. Let's see. Okay, we got from 0, from the first element, to the element -2, which is before the 8, which is 7, the whole list. Let's now try the third one, and I think you should know what the result will be. We are starting from 2, 0, 1, 2. This is the element with the index 2, and we are finishing with the element index -2, which is 8. The element before 8, which is 7. Then it should give us as an output this list. Let's see. As we saw, it gives us the same result. Okay, now let's thing we're gonna learn here is steps. What is steps? We saw before this shape right here. From the first element we are going to call to the last element we are going to call. Then this is the new part. We put a semicolon, another semicolon, and here we put the steps. What are the steps? But first let's see the example. Here we are a new list, hopefully a new example. And here's the same mistake. We have here a uppercase letter, it should be a lower one, and we see here. Okay, what can we understand from this? We can understand that we want elements from 1 to 6. What do we have elements from 1 to 6? We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Those elements are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are the elements from 1 to 6. And here we are going 2 steps. So we start from 2, we go 2 steps. We are in 4, then we are going 2 steps. We avoid 5, we are going 2 steps, we take 6. Then after that we have no other 2 steps, so the output should be 2, 4, and 6. You can do it with 3, with 4, whatever you want. And if you put the steps negatively, it will go steps from the other side. Okay, let's see now. Let's try all what we talked about here. Let's print. Okay, you put those, don't forget. And here let's type 1 through 6, and we want 2 steps as we talked about. Those are 2, 4, and 6 should be the answer. And here we go. Now I want to give you this because you will see this a lot. Okay, what that means you can understand it easily. So this is empty, so it should start from 0, and this is empty, so it should end by 0. And now we have this full list. Okay, this means the full list. And now we have this steps minus 1. We are going negatively, so we are going steps from the end of the list. So we are going 1, okay, for all the list. From here, 1 step, 1 step, 1 step, 1 step, 1 step, to finish the whole list here. So if we run this code, we should have the list reversed. Let's check. We have the whole list but in reverse. Okay, this is the end. If you like the video, put a like, put a subscribe, put a comment, whatever you want. You can leave the video without doing anything as you like. This is the recap of all what I just said. See you in the next video.